Center for Middle East Studies at the University of Denver's Joseph Corbell School of International Studies was established in September of 2012. The first institution of its kind in Colorado, the center is dedicated to promoting the study of the societies, political systems, and international relations of the Middle East and the broader Islamic world. In its first few months, the center has made its presence felt on DU's campus and beyond through a series of lectures, public forums, and a major international conference on the crisis in Syria, which drew leading scholars, journalists, and experts to DU for 2 days in January. Among our events, a forum on U.S.-Iran policy with Trita Parsi, author of A Single Roll of the Dice, Obama's Diplomacy with Iran, as well as Ambassador Christopher Hill, Dean of the Joseph Corbell School of International Studies, former Corbell School Dean Tom Ferrer, and former Colorado Governor Richard Lamb. A lecture by Professor John Calvert of Creighton University on the history of Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood, which the center has published as its first occasional paper. A lecture by Christopher de Beleg, former Tehran correspondent for The Economist, on the U.S., Iran, and a changing Middle East. A lecture by Stephen Zunis, chair of the program in Middle Eastern Studies at the University of San Francisco, on lessons from the Arab revolutions 2 years later. A lecture by Pankaj Mishra, one of Foreign Policy magazine's 100 top global thinkers of 2012, on the shift of global power from the West to the East. And this afternoon, we hosted Vali Nasr, Dean of the Johns Hopkins University's Paul H. Nitze School of Advanced International Studies in Washington, for a talk on the Arab Spring and U.S. foreign policy. The center has produced 2 books, with plans for several more. Professor Nader Hashemi, director of the Center for Middle East Studies, is the author of the influential book Islam, Secularism, and Liberal Democracy, toward a democratic theory for Muslim societies. Professor Hashemi and Danny Postel, associate director of the Center for Middle East Studies, are the co-editors of The People Reloaded, The Green Movement, and the Struggle for Iran's Future. The center seeks to generate scholarly research and foster public understanding of this critical and changing part of the world.
While people are wary of the conflict, they can still organize in important ways, and it raises the question of how many more Malulas might exist in Syria, and indeed in other conflicts as well.
The international community expected all these peoples to just find a way to get along. And they have not, by and large, found a way to get along. Every day in Baghdad and in Iraq, there are car bombs going off, and the death rate is usually 35, 50, some days over 100.
And after the atrocities in Kosovo, in Bosnia, we thought that the international community is built and institutions will not allow such atrocities to repeat it again.
The purpose of these verses is to unify the masses. Homs up to Hasaka, Banyas to Damascus, city streets to countryside, mountaintops to coastal tides.